Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We have seen a lot of topics under the company law. Now we are moving on next to the topic on company borrowing. Your knowledge on the shares is will also help you to understand a lot of things here when we're going to compare the differences between debenture and shares. So when we go into a company borrowing, we need to you must be able after the class you be able to differentiate between shares and debentures, as well as to explain the fixed charge and floating charge, and to also to discuss the priority of the company debts upon winding up. Okay. Now, these are the contents of our lecture for today. So we start off first by saying that company needed funds to do for their business. Okay, there's something missing here. Company needed funds for business. It should be for business. Okay, never mind. Now, funds can be generated internally or externally or by both. Okay, so how? Issuing shares to get share capital. We have seen it in the last lecture where shares issued to public under public companies. Okay, and then you can also have preferential shares. So this is where the capital that actually from the shares. Okay, but can you also borrow from lenders, individual lender, banks? Yes, you can borrow. So uh, in order for you to borrow, you need to know where does the powers of borrowing comes from. Section 21, subsection 1, paragraph C of the Companies Act 2016 provides that company are able to exercise body corporate and have full capacity to carry on or undertake any business or activity, including to do any act. So basically they can do any or enter into any transaction. Why? Because section 22 provides a company have full rights, powers and privileges like a natural person. So this is impliedly shown that company will also have power to borrow. So this is where the power of borrowing for a company comes from. Okay, before you can do such thing, you must have something to back up your why and how you can do such act. So the power to borrow comes from these sections. Yeah. And then now when we talk about capital, we talk about sources of capital. We have seen share capital. Now we are moving on to loan capital, which is borrowing from a lender. Now, borrowing can be just a normal loan whereby you ask from somebody, from your family, your husband, your wife, or your working son, or your grandfather, mother, or anyone who would like to lend you some money. But another types of borrowing is where you issue debenture. Okay. Now, what is debenture? Debenture is an acknowledgement of that. It is something to show that you owe somebody something, or a company owing the bank some money. Okay. Now, issuance of debenture comes with security or without security. Security means you have a collateral. You have something to back up your borrowing. You can something to guarantee your borrowing. Or without security means you don't actually secure your borrowing. Most banks they prefer something with security. Okay, but we also need to look at what are the things without security. Now, before we move on, again, like I said, what is debenture? So there is no precise definition for debenture. Section 2, subsection 1 define debenture to include debenture stock, bonds, notes, or any other securities of a corporation, whether constitute a charge or not. Okay, but that doesn't really tell what is debenture. Now, if you look in the dictionary, they only talks about a company borrowing from someone, and that borrowing is actually jotted down in a document. So basically, a debenture is a document showing the debts of the company from somebody. Okay. Now, issuing a debenture is a method of borrowing by a company, which means when a company issued a debenture, a company is said to borrow money. Now, so in short, borrowing is a document which acknowledges the indebtedness of a company. Justice Chitty, in the case of Abercrombie Slade and Slab Company, he said that the terms of debenture means a document either creates a debt or acknowledges it, and any document which fulfill either of these condition that is called debenture. Okay, I would like to show you examples in Malaysia on the debenture of how would a bank have their how should I say proof that somebody owed money from somewhere. Can we have a look at this document? Sample. Okay. Okay. This is sample of deed of debenture. Okay. There, some deed of debenture. Yeah, deed of debenture. Okay. And then between a borrower and Islamic bank. Okay. It is a facility given. They also define what is charged. Okay. What is receiver, general facility. Okay, they also talks about charges. Okay, either by fixed charge or something, so you can actually delete whichever not needed, or is either by floating or fixed charge. Okay, now we just continue further, and it doesn't mention who are really the borrower. It can be anybody, but we know that when we talk about debenture, we talk about what do we talk about? We talk about company. So, but then here, name of customer, okay. It doesn't even mention it's a company, but we know it will be a company when, okay, execution by customer, common seal of whatever company, when there is a director or director secretary. So, we know that this is a seal placed by a company. Okay, so we know this debenture is actually between the bank and a company. Now there's another example, okay, by another bank that was just now was CIMB Bank. Now this is between company as the borrower and UOB Bank. Okay, so that is the deed of debenture. Again, same thing, they have this definition. Okay, what is the banking facility, who are the borrowers, and again, if we continue further, okay, we're gonna see at the end. Okay, again, okay, description of borrower, but then common seal above name borrower. So in the presence of, we know, when we know that's in the presence of this director and director secretary, we know that actually the borrower is a company. Okay, that is so much for the definition. Where were we just now? Okay, back to our PowerPoint. Okay, can we look at this case? Now, this case, they talks about debenture, but more of a negative pledge. Yeah, they talk more of a negative pledge. We're going to continue with the case in a short while. Let me just, okay. Now, private company, Bensa, placed a fixed deposit in the sum of 150,000 with the first respondent bank. Bensa awarded contract to construct certain building, and then they procure a performance bond. Okay, performance bond is something like a guarantee that if I don't do it, they're going to take your money. Okay, as a consideration for issuing the performance bond, the insurance company obtained from Bensa a collateral. So their collateral is a deposit of a fixed deposit. Okay, so Bensa executed in favor of insurance company a memorandum of deposit cum letter of guarantee, which is security document, and their guarantee is the fixed deposit, yeah, in favor of insurance company, and the document was registered as a company charge. Okay. So one of the issue before the court was whether the security document was the debenture. Remember just now, they executed a memorandum of deposit cum letter of guarantee. So Justice James Fong says that besides that, the term debenture should include any obligation, covenant, undertaking or guarantee to pay or any acknowledgement thereof. Okay, so the court held that the security document was in a nature a debenture. So a debenture is actually a very wide range of definition. Okay, so his lordship said it is a security granted by the company to the insurance company, and as such is properly registered as a charge. So debenture is just a document, okay, to show indebtedness of a company. Okay.